Happy, happy 4th of July. We're doing a 5-hour marathon. So this should be interesting. We're going to talk about everything and anything, and we'll be doing some recaps on some of the stuff that's happened in the circus. Let me see who's this. Hey, Marcus. Yes, so I'll be on here for 5 hours. I did this a few years ago on a Saturday and a Sunday. I did a 5-hour marathon. Um this wasn't even the 4th of July, and I did it. And Hunty, I don't see how people stay up here for 5 hours. But I figured I wasn't doing any cookout. I'm going to make some tacos, loaded tacos today. Something not traditional for 4th of July. And some cheeseburgers, which is 4th of July. Like, cheeseburgers. We have what? They have hot dogs and cheeseburgers. But we're going to make some lamb tacos. We're not just going to make any kind of tacos. We're going to make lamb tacos. And they'll be loaded lamb tacos. I'll put them in my shorts videos today for tomorrow or something. And some cheeseburgers. So we'll be doing that. That'll be after this 5-hour live. Pray for me because I know it's going to be really tiring for me doing this 5-hour live, and then going directly into cook mode. But I'm at my own pace even when I cook. So we've been eating relatively late these days. I kind of like to cut off at 6 o'clock eating for the day, not like just cooking after 6 or later and eating and then going to bed a few hours later, like close to 11, maybe 12 sometime. By the time we might like crash, it's really not good to have that on your stomach. But I wanted to talk about one thing in particular that I saw. Like I said, this is we talk about anything live. You can ask me any type of Q&A questions, long as they're respectful. I will answer them. But I seen a live stream yesterday, and I'm starting to see a lot of YouTubers, not particularly in this sector, but in other sectors. There's this guy that I've been following for a few years, but he's been on YouTube for about 15 years. And he'll do a live stream. He'll put up a set amount of money that he's trying to make. He'll say it's for rent, for car insurance, or whatever have you. And people will literally get this money up for him. And because they don't like to see him get off, because maybe they're people that just can't sleep, have trouble sleeping, or whatever the situation is. He's real entertaining. He does story times of real, I guess, events that happened in his life. Literally, people will pay $100, $200 just to keep him online at the weirdest hours of the night. Well, I saw Jaguar, Wright, and TJ yesterday, and they were doing a Q&A for, I think, $10 per question. I don't know how large the bag was. I'm not counting nobody's bag because I don't want nobody counting mine. But I just think that is kind of sort of too far in the game for them to be doing couple Q&As. We already know that she's trying to get herself situated so she can go looking for a mother. I don't know if that's a good idea. I really believe that if Jaguar Wright goes looking for her mother, if she does have supporters that are following these live streams and donating money to these events that they do, she's going to end up getting herself locked back up. So I hope she's really being mindful of what she's doing, because it can get her in a lot of trouble, in the end. I really hope she's really mindful. And one thing that also reminded me so much of this guy who begs for money was after the live stream, because I would have recorded it so we would have had some live commentary to do some commentary to. They took it down. I guess they figured, we don't want anybody that didn't see it trying to attack us and look at us like we're begging the community. That's not the kind of content we want to be known for doing on the new channel. Coming across like we're begging people for money, which it doesn't matter. It only takes one person who was in that live that has a recording app that could have recorded that whole live from the beginning to the end, and you still could be scrutinized for begging the community. But it's dangerous for some people when they don't have money and you support them and you give them money, whether it's a drug addiction or in Jaguar Wright's case, you give her enough money for a phone and a car, and she's gonna be a bat out of hell. She's gonna go back to the old Jag. She's probably gonna sabotage her new relationship, or the new relationship is gonna be stressed out, and not knowing what to do because she's put herself in a situation where she left the other woman of years and the children that she helped parent. And if it doesn't work out with her and Jag, she's the money maker, and Jag is basically using her as a third wheel so she can get on her feet by saying, "Hey, this is my new relationship." And we're gonna be doing couples videos and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's trying to really get TJ comfortable so that she can go in for the kill. This is what I believe. I don't think that the way Jaguar is acting these days, in my opinion, she's comfortable with being that way, which is civilized. There's got to be a time where if it ain't rough, it ain't right with Jag. So all things with people with drama like that come to an end. I just hope it doesn't. Maybe, and I said just maybe, um, she has learned from what she's been through with Goomba, and she doesn't let. Why is that like that? And she did learn from Goomba one lesson that when you're taking care of your mother, maybe a lot of the lessons that you're learning now and some of your shortcomings came from. Hold on. And allowing your husband and self steal from your mother, and making it okay to do it, and making people think that you're only doing what you're doing because it's taking care of your mother, and trying to keep your family together. So like I said, when people do mess up things, what goes around comes around. And a lot of people have been saying to me in the community as well about what's his name, Juju. Well, Jax got arrested first. Let's put that out there. Now everybody's on Juju's neck because they're saying Juju's mother is looking for Juju because he took something from her or something and disrespected her. I don't know what it was. Put it in the comment section of this live if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they're saying that he had did something to his mother and his mother was looking for him, and come to find out he ended up in jail. Who knows? Nature Boy may have told him to get locked up, by doing that little rally he did in front of, what was it, the jailhouse or the courthouse, and he got himself locked up. So if somebody that you're trying to root for brings that kind of energy, and you're getting in trouble like right alongside with them, and it's not already not looking good for them, you should already know it's a bad hit. Hey, Sierra. So you just like True was saying, and I'm gonna play that again when people come into the live. I don't want to stop the live and people are asking questions, but I'm gonna play that live again for a lot of people that missed it, because I haven't been really consistent on YouTube lately, and my views are not coming in like they should because I'm being shadow banned until YouTube feels like I'm worthy or consistently uploading. um then they'll give me back my viewership, which is understandable. I already knew what I was coming into when I got back on the platform. I have to stay consistent. Sometimes we need to take our own advice. I tell people all the time when they say, I want to do classes with you. How can I grow my YouTube channel? The very most important thing that you must learn as a person trying to grow your channel is consistency. If you're not consistent on YouTube, you do good the first couple of months and then you disappear for a couple of weeks or a month or 2 months. Then it's like you're putting yourself back to square one. So I'm basically at square one at this point. I'm okay with it. We'll get back to where we need to be. But yeah, I do want to play that video and see what y'all's thoughts about it. I really do think that uh well, also I was gonna say True, but let's say Aaron Dixon, aka True. I think that he has seen the light, and I really believe that he's not turning back. I don't think he's gonna be like loyal, Lord rest his soul, go into another toxic situation around people who would do what they did to him. They unalived him, and they're allegedly saying detectives just soon as they walked to the house said it was a homicide, and that was because he was already unalive when they entered the unit or the house, and they tried to start a fire, which, I mean, process of elimination is quite simple to probably get rid of the evidence. And that's another thing I need to do too. I'm gonna look into that situation. Is there any updates with Royal, and did they crack the case? Did there any arrests have been made for the unalive Loyal? Because that's unfortunate that he never got a chance to heal and see that life is way better than what Nature Boy was trying to brainwash you to believe. Hey, Big Red. So, are you having a cookout today, Big Red? What's going on with your day? Talk to me. Tell me something. I'm not having a cookout. I'm gonna be cooking at home, but it'll be just simple, basic stuff: cheeseburgers and tacos, loaded tacos. But I'm not only just making tacos; I'm making lamb tacos. So that'll be what's the difference. And I don't even use beef anymore, ground beef. It has to be ground lamb. And it gives a way better flavor than regular tacos. So that's what we're gonna be having tonight for dinner. But I won't be doing that until I get off alive. So it's gonna be a late dinner. That's why I had me, and I'm gonna show you again. Um, I had a bacon BLT. I didn't have any lettuce on it. I had tomatoes, white onions, mayo, red hot relish, American cheese, and I had about 8 pieces of bacon on the sandwich. I mean, I had me a sandwich, okay? So I ate that and a couple pieces of candy, which is the candy I shouldn't have ate because I'm trying to really get back eating clean again. And none of what I ate was good, but at least I had the hot breakfast. But the candy I could have left that out. You know what I'm saying? But I ate something because I figured I'm gonna be on here for a while, and I'm not gonna be smacking in your ear, eating snacks and all that stuff. So it'll hold me off until I get off of here. I hope you have your charger. Yeah, I got my charger. Matter of fact, you said my charger. You talking about for my computer? Cause I won't need no charger, Marcus, for the phone. Cause I won't be on the phone till I get off. But yeah, my computer's fully charged. Matter of fact, it's in the uh the wall. So it won't go dead. But yeah, 5 hours is 5 hour marathon is quite some time to be on live. I again don't see how channel holders do it. But like I said, sometimes you want to switch it up a little bit and do something out of the norm. And you guys know I really don't do this all the time. So for me to do this once in a great while is not gonna, kill me. And I'm able to talk to my supporters, and like I said, this is not a marathon live where we're talking about carbonation and Jaguar, Wright, or any entities that I talk about. We could talk about anything. Could be about juicing, any health question, detoxification questions, um, anything. What am I doing tomorrow? What time did I get up today? Anything. This is just a chat and just lay your head down. It's the 4th of July. I'm spending it with my supporters. A lot of these days, going forward, I've noticed that a lot of people don't really get into these holidays anymore. They're just not quite the same. People don't cook out as much in my family. And then the loved ones that used to have these cookouts, they're no longer around. The ones that were very festive. And, it just makes it much easier for me to say, I'm just going to fall back. Someone timed me out. Someone timed you out. Because I seen all of your messages. I seen the hello boo. And I seen you say someone timed me out. And then you put, but I'm cooking like a regular day. Exactly. That's what I'm doing too. No grills are out. And if I was gonna do a cookout, I would definitely not be on here for no 5 hours doing no marathon. So, you know, hopefully it works out. I also want to apologize to you guys because I did do a live commentary video. It was supposed to go out at 1 o'clock. No, not 1 o'clock. Supposed to go out at 11 o'clock, but I had a schedule for the 5th instead of the 4th. I've been doing that lately. I got to really pay attention to the dates. So I ended up putting it out at 12:45 because I want people to know that I'm live. And I also wanted to update them about, the begging that I think was going on with Jaguar Wright and the new girlfriend on that little live she did yesterday. So I did an update video on on a premiere. So you guys can go check that out after this is over with, or you may have already seen it, and that's great. But I'm gonna play the video that I had from yesterday. Matter of fact, did I delete? Let me see something before I say that. Let me see something. I gotta see if I still have it. I should though. I don't think I deleted it. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me just check real quick. It says, "Hi Shago." It says lawyer was beat for years, and to be beaten to death, then set on fire was crazy. Yeah, but he wasn't set on fire. They just set fire around the house to burn the house down. They didn't set him on fire though. He was already unalived in the house. So they try to make it look like the cause of death, whoever did do whatever they did to him, they're trying to make it look like he was unalive from the fire, but the fire was not even what consumed him. When they went in there and did the detective work, they already discovered he was already unalive prior to the fire being started, before the people who probably unalived him left the house. So no, he didn't get burned alive, beaten and burnt alive. He got unalive, but they try to burn the house down to get rid of the evidence, is what I believe. We here either way, we got you. Thank you, Big Red. So let me just go look at that. So yeah, it's a real messed up situation. Any way you look at it, even if they didn't try to burn, even if they did beat him and then burnt him alive, just being beaten to death is a bad hit. So it's really sad people's thought process. But you have to evaluate the circle that you keep, because all people are not good people. I mean, you can have them. You can have family members that are no good for you. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be careful. So I'm trying to see. Where's it at? Let me look on here, because I'm trying to look for the recording, and I want to see which one it is. Let me look this. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to see. Oh no, it's not this one. Nope, it's not that one. I got the wrong one. Cause I hope I didn't delete it though. But I know I had edited the video so I could use it for my live. Oh, matter of fact, I'll be able to still see it. Hold on, let me go over here. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me put some pimping in it. So let me go here and I'm gonna present, because I do want to go over this. It should pop up here, hopefully. And I'll be able to see it. Oh, here it is, I think, here.
How you been doing?
Okay, so many of you may not have saw this video yesterday. I did live commentary to it. I'm going to continue to do live commentary to it only because shout out to Max V Media and shout out to Aaron Dixon aka True. I was supposed to put his YouTube link so you guys can go follow him because I think he's going to be more active on YouTube now that he took a break and got himself together, looked in the mirror and was facing his own demons and, had time to think about what was best for True. He feels a little bit more, sane and healed. So he wants to talk. And he told us a little bit of what he was doing while he was behind the scenes. He was still, actively on social media, but he just wasn't on platforms because he had to get him right. And he certainly wouldn't be getting himself right by, doing interviews on people's platforms and listening to people say triggering things about him. So he pretty much just, left off the face of the earth. Didn't hear too much from what's her name? Kendra, aka Sheba. Correct me if I'm wrong, which is he considers his wife. And they have a child together. I guess he was just doing his fatherly duties. And in order to do that, you got to get your mind right, because if your mind's not right, you can't be a father to your child, So I think that's what he went to go do. But I'm gonna let y'all listen to what he had to say. And again, this is a commentary live. I did play this yesterday, but this is for the people who may have missed some of it, or wasn't here for the live and did do the replay, but didn't listen to the whole entire what I recorded and edited. This is for you guys to watch.
Man, I've been putting myself back together in the best way I know how with the resources that's available. Um,
Right.
I got my family around me now, a lot of familiar faces.
Nice.
I've seen, tune me back into who I actually am. And also doing a lot of research on cults in general because I think that when people hear the word cult, they pretty much minimize it to Jim Jones and Charles Manson. But man, cults is a big deal, and it's especially a big deal to me because I was actually directly involved in one.
Right.
But outside of that, man, I've been taking it one day at a time. You understand what I'm saying?
That's all you can do, one day at a time.
And I have been
Especially in this day and age. Everybody got to do that.
de- de- yeah, definitely. And I have been following this case
Okay.
like I work for the criminal justice department. Like I mean,
You've been in it.
I've
Yeah.
been on it. Yeah, and at first I had a lot of back and forth, like should I be disinvolved? Should I move on? Should I let it go? But I had to accept that, no matter how much time goes by, I'll never forget that situation. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? That I'll never be the same, you know, because of that.
Right.
And it's up to me whether that's going to be to my detriment or to my success.
I mean, the way you're handling it, like you're handling it well. You're handling it very well. And like you said, you're taking it day by day. Next 2 years from now, it'll slowly, everything will slowly get better. It's like everything is relative to the person. So we all got our struggles. And like you said, taking it day by day, that's the way to go.
Definitely. And I haven't uh, been treating it like it was some type of joke, like it was some type of game, like
Hmm.
that didn't really happen because it did. It's real. If you're on the outside looking in, you can turn it off and go laugh and go on about your life, but I can't never turn it off.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I can't never turn it off and just go on about my day. But the thing that has helped me the most is alchemizing this situation into something beneficial, you know.
Right. Do you think your experience with the military will helped you a little bit? Like,
I would say that it contributed to me going into it, staying in there, and getting out at the same time.
and getting out right. Yeah,
'Cause
because you have that like to fall back on, like because you have your struggles, but you appear to be strong. You know what I mean? And I was thinking maybe your military experience has something to do with it.
well, this is what I feel like, man. I I don't think nobody is particularly stronger than anybody else, but I think that some people have been pushed to
Hmm.
positions where they have to.
He couldn't have picked Aaron couldn't have picked a better person to do this bill with but Max V, because he's very understanding, he's neutral, he's not disrespectful, he stays out of confrontations with people, and even if he doesn't agree, he allows you to agree to disagree, and it doesn't make him like you or dislike you anymore. He respects your opinion, and you don't have to worry about getting off his platform and he's dragging your name in the dirt for 2-3 months trying to character assassinate you, cause you to try to unalive yourself, because these people are really weak and been through some real bad tragedies, and the last thing they need is for them to come onto a commentary channel's page, and they're supposed to be setting an example, and they're running these people's name through the dirt to the point that they want to go hide underneath a rock. So I'm kind of glad that he picked um Max V Media to do this interview or build. Hey Genty, good afternoon everybody. Oh yep, happy 4th of July to you, Genty. So we're doing today a 5-hour marathon. I don't know if you know that, Genty. So we are going to talk about everything and anything. Um, but yeah, so that's what we're doing. So happy 4th of July. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Hit that like button. I'm gonna keep saying it all through this.
Tap into that strength, whereas other people may simply not have gone to
Okay.
that point
I'm
yet.
proud of Aaron. He's
Right.
doing the
So I
work.
don't consider
Yes,
myself to
he is,
be
Shay.
particularly stronger or more intelligent or better than anybody. I just think that I've been put in certain positions where I had no other choice but to find that out for my own self.
Right. You will be able to help someone else that's going through it, like in the future, like with your experience, you will be able to like, be some type of guidance to someone that maybe need it.
And the thing about it is that
Yes, I'm doing
being
call-ins.
around
I can drop the
somebody
link. If anybody wants to come up,
that
I'll
is the
actually put it up
complete
now.
opposite of how I want to be is actually a form of motivation in itself, because I feel like
Just as long as
ultimately
we're not cussing,
everybody teaches
remember
you
that.
something no
No
matter
cussing.
who you come across,
I agree. Yeah.
young
You
or
are more
old.
than welcome to
But
come
I
up.
feel like in
I'll
simple
pin that link.
terms, what people teach you is either what to do and how to be, or what not to do and how not to be.
Right.
And being around Allege Bishop, Natureboy, however you want to refer to him, it has taken me to a place of what not to be, so much so that I have a newfound perspective on how far you can get in life by simple things as respecting somebody, saying, yes, sir, no, sir,
Hmm.
just treating like, because we spent so much time trying to make everybody else outside.
Ooh, child Genty, I am so sorry. I'm talking with the mute button on. Talking about, yes, you guys are more than welcome to come up. Long as there's no cussing, you can come up. I have no problem with it. I'm talking a mile a minute and the mute button was on. So I want to let you guys know, yes, this is a 5-hour marathon. We can talk about anything. We don't even have to talk about what we talk about on a regular basis. It could be just a regular conversation. It's our 4th of July conversation. The link to get onto the live is pinned at the top of the description. I mean, at the top of the chat. You can't miss it. Just scroll up to the top, click on the link, and you are more than welcome to come and chat with me. As long as there's no cussing, remember that. That's all I ask for. But we could talk about everything and anything. It says, SL, love you. Keep up the great content. Happy holiday. Thank you, Trap Media USA. Thank you.
Our immediate group inferior. You're inferior because your hair is this. You're inferior because you date this person. You're inferior because you work this job. But the thing about it is that the need to make somebody inferior is only a statement of how little you think of your own self.
Right.
My self-confidence is not connected to making you small. So therefore, I don't have no desire to do that. And I'll say this, is that stepping away from that group, it has really allowed me to see what it was we was doing, what it was we was saying. Because when you so up close on something and you in the midst of it, it's really hard to process everything that's going on. The midst of it, it's really hard to process everything that's going on.
Right. It's understandable. Like, it's hard to process, but time, that's what you have, time on your side.
I'm telling you.
To continue to process it. You're doing it right. I mean, hey man, you're human at the end of the day. You know, we all gonna have our paths, and we're gonna have our peaks and valleys, but being that you're willing to talk about it is awesome. Before you continue, can you just let people know about your book?
Oh yeah, I got a book called Greatness is a Habit. It's an ebook. I didn't even bother to try to get it printed because it's so short. I wanted to make a book that was digestible for people who don't really like to read that much, or people who may be intimidated by large books. And the point of the
getting
book
his mind right,
was a way for me to
like
be
he got some sense
creative
and getting away from
and
Nate's
for
boy.
me to express myself, as
If he
well
didn't
as
get locked up, most of
I don't
them
like
will
being a
still be there,
spectator in
and
life.
if he
When I
gets out,
see
most of
somebody
them will
doing
be back.
something, I consider it to
Right,
be
if he allows
an
it.
invitation.
I don't think Aaron Dixon, though,
that it
aka
can
True
be
will.
done, not just by them, but the possibility of it being able to be done and open for anybody. So a lot of my mentors, I look up to them and I see the things they're doing, and I'm like, why I can't be up there? Not to compete with you, but just to put myself up there. And when I go to Apple Books, I'm scrolling through and I see Eric Thomas, I see, Napoleon Hill.
Right.
I'm like, why I don't see my name up there?
You're working on it.
Because you wasted so much
I'm like,
time with
put the book up there,
Natureboy.
bro. It don't have to be a New York Times bestseller. But I think about my son and I'm like, it's bigger than the book. It's showing him that it's possible, right? It's possible for you too.
Right.
You don't have to look at Michael Jordan and say, man, you could be like, shoot, I can get there too.
Right.
Anywhere you want to go, if somebody's been, they paved the path for other people to follow. So I feel like that book was a statement to my own self, not to make sales because it's only 99 cents. It's not to be famous. It was just for me to look up and say, dang, you can do it, bro. You can do it.
Now it's on Apple Books.
That's it. That's the only place it's on, Apple Books.
So guys, you can go to Apple Books, and what's the name of the book again?
It's called Greatness is a Habit. I got like this page that I'm on. I literally just made this YouTube page because
I honestly don't think that True is trying to be rich or thinking that being rich is going to make you happy. I honestly think that he has a purpose. He wants to fulfill the purpose, and he wants to be able to do it under his means. And that's, to me, having a great life. You don't have to be rich, but if you don't have to worry about the things that everyday people worry about, like bills and a roof over your head and responsibilities, then that's a great thing for you. but I think he wants to be able. There's something he wants to conquer. I can't really explain what it is that he's trying to, what message he's trying to give to the community to uplift us, to build us as people. But I think that he went over the carbonation with a good cause. He got sucked into a demon with the bad cause, and now he's rebuilding himself because of what he subjected himself being with Natureboy. But I believe, like I said before, people should never look at somebody doing something wrong to you and it's being considered an L. Look at it as a learning experience that you learned from. And when you learn from a learning experience, what you need to also know is that you don't want to keep learning by taking L's. You want to learn from the L and keep it moving. And the goal is not to keep taking L's, to have to learn to gain experience and to be a stronger person. And I hope that going forward for all of these carbonation members, including Aaron, aka True, they realize this.
Decided after taking a break,
Would you
after
compare
stepping
True
away,
to
to
Malcolm
get
X in
back
similar
involved
fashion? Malcolm
on
left
the internet and
Elijah.
social media. And the
Nice.
link,
Yeah, I
the
would in
link
some
to the
ways.
book is
Trap Media
actually in the
USA.
top right corner on my YouTube banner on this page right here. But
I
it's
think
great
that's
missing
why
to have
Malcolm
it
X is not here
ebook
now
on
because
Apple
of
Books,
him
99
leaving.
cents.
Can you at some point can you put your link in the private chat? And then
Yes.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link it to everybody, and then so everybody can get your link and then also subscribe to you.
Right.
Yeah, I like that you back on YouTube because people want to hear from you, not just about they just want to hear what you up to now. They want to hear from you.
Yeah,
And you have experience with social media,
I'm glad he's
so it
back
wouldn't
on
be
too.
particularly
I'm
hard for
really
you
curious on what
to
he's gonna bring to the table.
pick back up on social media whenever you want.
right. And the thing about it is that this time I have full control over what I decide to do and what I decide not to do, who I decide to talk to, who I
Right.
decide not to talk to. So, and I'm also not protecting a fabricated identity.
Right.
I don't have anything to defend. I don't have nobody to compete with. I don't have to debate
Exactly.
nobody. I don't have to intellectually dominate nobody. I don't have a facade to upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes social media that much more enjoyable rather than an
Stressful.
anxiety-filled
Yeah.
presentation of
Right.
let me make sure I say the right thing. Let me make sure I come
You
up
don't want
with
to
a
make
defense
Natureboy look
mechanism when
bad,
people
right?
start asking questions that I don't have answers to. It's terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome because people definitely want to hear from you. Now you mentioned that you started studying cults. I have this thing about cults as well, and like you said, most people when they think about cults, they immediately probably look at Charles Manson,
And
Heaven's
just
Gate.
don't.
Yeah. And I started looking into like how churches could be like that as well. Like
Bro, you
there's a
can be,
small church out where I am out here.
yeah.
Man, it's like a cult, man.
Listen, bro, you can be, but it's not a game. And I don't expect people to dive as deep into it as I have. Because I mean, when I tell you I have been studying cults like Bobby Fischer studied chess.
Mm,
Because I need to, so that I can understand what the hell happened.
right. Is that something that you're going to be addressing on your YouTube page?
Yes, I have
Man,
spoke
my
with
YouTube
Aaron
page is gonna be
Dixon privately, Trap Media.
me.
Yes, he
You understand
reached
what I'm
out to me
saying?
and
That
Right.
will be a
apologized to
part of
me
it,
on
but it
DM
won't be
on
the
IG.
thing.
Right. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But what I attempted to do was I said, let me get off social media, hide out a little bit, and hope people forget that I was even involved, that I was ever involved in this. But I realized that even if I try to
That's
stay
the
off
link,
social
guys. If
media,
you would like
I
to come
have
up,
to carry this
make
for
sure
the
to hit
rest
the
of my
like
life.
button.
Right.
I have to carry for the rest of my life. There's certain things we experience that we will take with us all the days of our life. And I had to accept that this is one of them. And, when people ask me, yo, what you been up to? Because I've seen, classmates since I've been home, and I just tell them straight up. Like, I've been in code for the last 4 years. And,
like, oh my God.
everybody processes it differently,
Right.
depending upon their awareness of codes. But I have to be honest with myself, because
it is what it is, man.
living a lie is just not a sustainable form of existence.
You already been
Which
through all
it
that.
baffles me how Natureboy and the people that are still there, I'm amazed that they continue to just try to keep up this facade as if we don't know about certain things that don't add up with their quote unquote teachings. What part of the teachings is flying contraband to a prison? What part of the teachings is that? What part of the teachings is getting drunk and arrested? Why? What part of the game is that?
Right.
But I realized that when you're in a cult, you can do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, and justify it however you want to.
Right.
And I told somebody,
yeah, because he is the leader.
Said the fascinating thing about Natureboy or Carbonation,
and you're in his
is
camp,
that it is the most consistent display of real-time delusion. You've met delusional people, you've seen delusional things, but you've never seen delusion in such a consistent manner,
right,
in a real-time delivered format.
Right.
It's so delusional that you want to see how far a person can go. I don't think people have ever seen a crazy person in real time.
I have.
We watching it. We're watching it in display. Yeah, you're right about that.
For never seen it before.
Many of years.
Every day.
Yep.
Every day is being displayed.
Even your crazy uncle is crazy some of the times.
Right.
But to watch people be crazy all the time,
that's a problem.
Every day, it's fascinating.
What do you think it'll take for them to just break away? Like,
from what I've seen, not only from the research I've done on my own time and what I've learned in the current psychology course that I'm taking, is that one of the most effective means of breaking cult influence is geographical separation.
Geographical separation, okay.
Geographical separation has been displayed as the most effective means of breaking what Steve Hassan calls the bite model. And the bite model is when you're in a group that restricts your behavior, your information, your thought, and your emotions. If you restrict those 4 things in a person, you're effectively training them like a dog. You can't do this. You can't listen to this.
Right.
You can't think this, and you can't display these emotions. So in order to undo that, a person has to be geographically separated from the cult leader and other cult members.
Right.
Those women are being what Dr. Romney calls triangulated, meaning that they are being pitted against each other in some type of a competition to see who can last the longest. But the competition is only worth doing if you have somebody to compete with. So they're actually playing a game on each other. But when
they've been doing it, even when he was out. That's why they were fighting with each other.
Then from that angle, they can see how ridiculous the game is.
Right.
But until they're separated from each other, they more than likely will continue this until,
like I said, they have to sit with themselves. That's what True did by removing himself from the equation. He had to sit with himself. And once he got himself away long enough to sit with himself, even though he doesn't take the women that were there serious, he still could have sat with himself, being around the women members that still existed. He had to get even away from them and sit with himself, be around even normal people, even if he didn't want to be by himself and sit by himself. He had to be around people that don't believe in that belief system and sit with himself in order to heal and to also see that this was foolish and a waste of his life and robbing him of being a father to his child. And that's what he did. And that's what they have to do.
Reality hits. And when I say reality hits, I'm talking about when you realize he's not getting out.
Right.
Somebody gets seriously hurt, or either they get locked up and separated from each other in that manner. At that point, that's the only point I feel like real healing and recovery is going to be able to happen for them. Until then, it's some type of a mission for them that doesn't exist.
Yeah, because right now they're still in the same state. So like you said, they're not geographically separated.
No.
And then it's the competition thing.
Yeah, it's basically as if they're on some type of form of survivor who can outlast the next person. And they've already been conditioned to believe that.
And you know, Nature Boy got a whole list of women prior to him getting privileges taken away or him getting caught with allegedly smuggling drugs into the prison. You know, he got a list of women that are visiting him, that he can call, collect, sending them canteen money. He's probably telling those other women things that well, he can't probably tell the wives now, because I don't think he can be in contact with them. But prior to them taking that away from him, when he could be in contact with his wives, you don't know what he was saying to these other women, making maybe every single one of these women that are coming to visit him think that they're the only ones. Men will do anything when they're desperate and they need canteen money. You know, and it's a really sad situation that people don't see it for what it is. But that's the same situation like that's going on right now. Nature Boy's in jail and they're doing time too because they're not willing to go back to their families.
That they're in hell. They've been conditioned to believe that you're not supposed to be happy in life and that, you know, they're being persecuted. So their suffering to them is some type of achievement that other people out here who are not seeking suffering are ignoring.
Right. Because it could be a situation where, because it looks like he's going to take this to trial, which is a huge gamble, because the jury comes back and say that he's guilty on everything. He's facing a considerable amount of time behind bars.
25 minimum for
25 minimum, yeah.
For the most serious charge in Georgia.
Right. 25 minimum.
25 years is an extremely long time. Extremely.
Then at that part, that point,
Genty.
I mean, it will have to sink into them at that point.
It would.
Yeah.
Because now they're hanging on to,
who knows,
you know, ridiculous things such as the universe is in control. You know, things that have no basis with reality. So as long as they're not in reality and they get to stay isolated in their fantasy world, they will continue to act in a way that shows that they're not connected to the reality of what's going on.
Where do you think he learned this from? Do you actually think he was trained to do this? Like there was some type of project going on? Because he just kind of came out of nowhere.
I think that, and I've used this example. Now I'm not a licensed therapist or clinical psychologist or anything like that. I'm just offering an opinion like anybody else. But I consider it a form of manipulation that was learned from his experiences dealing with people. For example, right? You take a 25-year-old to an 18-year-old girl, his manipulation tactics would be quite effective because of her own naivety and her lack of experience dealing with men. You take that same 25-year-old, he tries his manipulation tactics on a 40-year-old, they're not that effective. So I think that Nature Boy's manipulation tactics were effective because he was dealing with people who may not have been predisposed to those type of manipulation tactics prior. Had Nature Boy tried to do that maybe in the hood or around other people who were seasoned to these type of manipulation tactics, he wouldn't have been as successful. That's just my theory. It could be wrong.
Right.
When you look at the community that Nature Boy had, 99% of them were under the age of 25.
Right.
Had that been a group of people who were 40, you probably wouldn't have seen it.
Right.
So I think his success is largely determined by his ability to target people under the age of 25. We all know how we were under the age of 25. And age is not
Hey,
relative to
Stephen
experience. There's
Washington.
people who are 18.
Hey, SL.
How you doing?
Good. I wanted to come up because I haven't came up yet, but I've been wanting to.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming up. I was sitting on another page because Solar, he's got a new YouTube channel, and I was trying to get a feel of what he was talking about, because after this, I'm gonna play some of what he's talking about on his new YouTube channel here.
Okay,
So
I'll probably come up and talk about that because I actually, while listening to this, I was gonna ask you how you felt about Solar and if you felt like he was gonna get any healing anytime soon.
I don't. I'm looking at his page, and that's why I don't even know how long you was waiting in the queue before I came back to the StreamYard, and it just seems like he's just trying to duplicate, Nature Boy all over. I believe he misses him. I believe he
Yeah.
misses him. I don't know how true it is. I know he did send Nature Boy did send Solar to quiet Nateri up, but they're also saying that's how Velvy got pregnant, because he was trying to get him to hush her up too, any means necessary. So I think that even though he said some and did some, messed up stuff to show dishonesty to Nature Boy, I believe that he would get out, and if Nature Boy was accepting of him, I believe he would be back over there with Nature Boy. I wholeheartedly believe that.
I've been watching all these years, and I guess what I've been waiting for is somebody to truly just bust it open. Like if it's like a documentary or, even just them being on a super big, site or, platform where they are called out on a true mainstream general sense. Because I'm the one thing that I am surprised by is that like this story hasn't hit mainstream yet.
Well,
and part of me sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish saying what you're saying.
I was gonna say part of me wonders, is it because, of the complete and utter ignorance of the whole situation? Is it because it is majority Black people?
You said it. You already said it.
Okay. All right.
And it's
So you
sad.
feel that way too?
If it was Becky's over there and Adams and Billy's and Peter's, then you know how life is. They say it doesn't exist, but it does. Trust me, they would have been over there and handled that and exposed it on a larger scale if it was a different group.
Right.
I believe that's just my opinion. I'm not sounding like I'm racist. I feel like I can't be racist. I'm Black, but
and that's what I thought too. I was like, it's expected of us in a lot of by society. It's expected of us to be ignorant. And so I don't know if, people would see how serious this is or treat it, just as a joke. But yeah, Stockholm syndrome is real,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I think people are nowadays, especially in this society, an individual is expected to excel in so many aspects that some people would rather just idolize somebody and follow their every single word. Maybe that's what Solar is going through. Maybe he's frustrated because he's not getting it the way he wants to, but he wants to portray that he is.
Right.
But yeah, I'll probably hop up once you talk about Solar. But one last question I had was in regards, and it's not coming to mind exactly, but I remember you talking about the 2 charges that he had, and them dropping the rape charge. I guess they dropped the rape charge.
The
Forgive me.
R
Forgive me.
charge. That's
Forgive me.
that's okay. Yeah, they were gonna drop the R charge, and the false imprisonment, it holds 10 years. They were gonna give him 7 years.
And
That was gonna be the deal.
you said it was a bad idea for him to do. I forgot exactly what you said, but I wanted to if you can remember the
Well, I
statement, or
said
maybe I'll. Mhm.
well, one thing I did feel as though it was a bad idea for the DA to give him that deal because it gave him the power, Nature Boy, to think because he doesn't know the law.
Oh,
Oh, they must not can prove that I did the R, and for them to be able to drop 3 years off the other serious charge, then they're just trying to get time out of me. I'm innocent, like I've always believed, and I'm just gonna now go to the media again, even though they tell me to stay off of social media, and I'm going to expose and bring down the DAs, the judges, the court-appointed lawyers, and the detective that was on the case that is trying to see me get locked underneath the jail. So it didn't work because it backfired on him. Now he has a gag order as of a couple of days ago. They finally got a gag order. So that means if he even attempts to get on social media or even on a three-way call, they're probably going to charge him. And it's also going
yeah.
to make it worse for his other cases that are pending. The case he picked up with the smuggling the drugs into the prison. You know what I'm saying? And then the bond that he can't even get on the serious charges, the first charges.
Right.
So,
I understand.
that's what I was stressing about. He needs to fall back because, you just took it upon yourself to just to make you made your own assumption because of that deal they gave you that you were out in the clear. Like there's a matter of time before they're gonna have to give it and let you out. And it's not like that. No.
Do you feel like it was a stalling tactic, I guess, on the courts and just the system in general to get more or to get more victims to speak up? Because that's
Yeah.
what I was assuming, especially once I was listening to, because I mean, sad to say, and in neutral sense, listening to the Wilds once they did their whole little interview or whatever that was called. I guess with the interview where Nature Boy was supposed to be there, but he wasn't.
Hmm.
My assumption after hearing the whole story is they're probably stalling and waiting for other people to come up so that they can tack the charge on him on a harsher sense, and maybe
Yeah,
that's why they
you're right
dropped
about
it.
that. But that's why the court appointed lawyer who he said I want to do a speedy trial, which he probably would have been already out, wrapped up the time he already did, she messed that up for him because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to hold out. Hopefully more evidence and victims, will come forward with credible, evidence to say, well,
Right.
these people are not lying on him so that they can indict him. So yeah, so they could be like, yeah, yeah, take it to trial, and knowing he's gonna lose because they got enough evidence to indict him, and then he does 25 years on the low end to Lord knows how long.
I mean, they got this videos of this man orchestrating fights. Multiple
Hmm.
people have came and told stories of abuse. Well, ABUSC. I don't know if I can say that word
No, you can say that.
verbatim.
Yeah,
um, have told stories of abuse verbatim, and the stories stay the same amongst different individuals. So I
hmm.
don't, I don't know. This is very, very unique. And it's, I mean, I want to watch it play out. I don't know. So do you think that he was flying contraband in for his own, like for his own purpose, or do
No,
you
I
think
think
he
it
got
was
caught?
to keep up with his paid lawyers.
Ah,
That's what I honestly think. I don't think it was for his own personal use. And, sell it in the jail if it's going to be way more money than the street price in the street for
mm,
whatever he was flying in. It's going to be 10 times the amount. So let's just say a dime bag. Let's not get into the names of the stuff. Is $20 in jail? It could be like $100, $150 for just a dime bag. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Literally, you might say, "No, that's a lot." Yes, yes, it is. It's a lot of money because it's not something that comes plentiful. You're in prison, so you don't. It's they make it hard for you to bring contraband into these kind of facilities because you're in there because you're on punishment, right? It's an
Right.
adult punishment. Um, But no, I don't think. I honestly don't think he was trying to use the contraband. I believe he was trying to get his bank up
Mm,
because people had sticky fingers and they was taking money when they left.
mm,
Now how much of it they took, we'll probably never know. But
mm.
I will say to you that there were reasons why he did it, and I think the main reason is because he needed to be able to keep up with his paid lawyers, because they're going to drag this on, and even a paid
Right,
lawyer, even if they know they can get him out, they're trying to make some money too.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a catch-22. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It says, "What's up? Hey, what's going on, Arco?" Yeah, but he put himself in this situation, and he's gonna have to get himself out. But at
Mm.
first, a couple of months ago, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was looking good for him. But nah, it's not. And I was also thinking it was looking good for him because of what these ex-combinations members were out here doing in these streets. And I said to myself, this is crazy. These people are wilding. They're no better than him. They're looking bad out here in these streets. And
Nobody
these some of the
surprised
witnesses.
me. Nobody surprises me except Velvet. Out of
Mm,
everybody, she surprises me the most with how she flip flops through this
hmm
whole experience. I really thought out of everybody, she was on a good path. I think she was in an apartment, and
I
she
never
was just.
thought she was at all. I
You never
trust me.
did.
I mean, I know things on a personal level, and I'm not gonna. I
Mm,
wouldn't have to say the name. I don't even want to say uh the relations. These people, the relationships that they have with her. That I know that they're credible. That
mm.
knew her before we knew her, or even Nature Boy knew her. So I don't want to be throwing them under the bus. But nah, Velvet ain't no better than Nature Boy. She's always had ish with her too.
I feel like she. One thing that I've noticed was that she is has really heavy narcissistic traits.
Yeah, big
She
time.
can really make somebody feel. That's why I was so blindsided when I can't even remember, but I just remember her talking about the cult and talking about starting it up again, and I was just listening to her like,
Yeah, acting like she wants to be chief
"Yeah."
this and Solar's being the chief. I said, y'all are bugging. She was basically trying to say she wants to show us how it's supposed to been done. Nature Boy didn't show the way it was supposed to been done. That's how I knew she had some issues going on with her.
No, she took too much of a liking to her position, and even when she did that interview, I forgot that man that was doing them interviews
Real
on that
life
couch.
production.
I think so, but
Hmm
I mean, even when it was explaining it almost was as if she was just forgetting her role.
Yeah,
Um,
you're talking
I
about
wish
that
there
show
was.
that Jaguar Wright was on, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, if
yeah.
you're talking about that show, is real. I think it's real life production, something like that.
It's like
And
real life street, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, I know what you're talking about, and because they've had Mark Cuban on, the dude that owns a basketball team.
Hmm.
He's a billionaire. He has all walks of life on that YouTube channel, and he had Velvet on there, and he had Soul on there. Then I think he had them on there together, and she never tells her part, right?
Has this Max guy ever interviewed what's her name? Nitiri?
I don't think so. That's a good question. I don't think so though. I
Would
think Natiri about a month ago came on to my channel for a hot little second, but
right,
I
yeah, I
know
remember.
she's really comfortable with the T channel, and they have a special relationship, because she was pregnant, very sensitive about the whole situation that was going on with her. I think that's who she felt comfortable uh going on their platform and talking, because she felt safe. She knew that the T would protect her, which is a good thing. You want to find a safe environment that you can express yourself without feeling as though somebody's gonna attack you for saying how you feel, you know?
Right. I mean, I
So
don't know how this is going to play out in court, but it do seem. I mean, in my eyes, it seems like. I mean, I'm going to still hold everybody accountable, but definitely for the young ones that came in, their ignorance was completely taken advantage of. And
yeah.
maybe their trauma, and that's why was thinking about Velvet. I was like, well, let me step back because maybe she has went through some traumatic things in her life that has, contributed to that narcissistic personality disorder.
Right.
Awesome. But what I'm gonna do now is, because I just moved into an apartment, I'm setting up my desk so I can get on my
Okay.
laptop. I'm gonna try to hop back on my laptop once
Okay.
the solar videos come up.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely put that on right after this.
Big Red say Velvet Cap. I'm dead.
Yeah, right. She is Cap. Big
All
time.
right.
Okay, nice talking with you, and hopefully you
Nice
come
talking to
back
you
up,
too.
Steve. Okay, sweetie.
All
All
right.
right. Bye-bye. It says I saw straight through Velvet. She's the season. The reason I love SL Davis. She followed Velvet a minute and straight broke her down. Exactly. And that's why Velvet, she blocked me from her social media handles. And I don't care because listen, you got people on here that be saying a whole lie on you. I be keeping it real with people about you because I'm a mother too, and I know how kids can be because you're a child of me, and you just didn't want to hear the truth. You want people that you think don't mean no harm to you, but they're saying or throwing salt on your name they're really throwing salt in your name. You rather let them have access to your lives and all this off the wall crap that you're talking about to the public, but you got me on your mind and threatened by me doing commentary on you and afraid about what I'm gonna say about you. But if you're supposed to be a child of God and a chiefess and F the world, you shouldn't be worried about what I have to say about you. What I eat don't make you ish.
That are quote unquote street smarts, and there's people who are 35, 40 that are naive as a middle schooler. It all depends upon what you have been exposed to. There's people out here who can recognize somebody that's a thief or a pickpocketer, or they're moving in a certain way that says that this person is suspicious, whereas somebody who's never been around these type of people might not think nothing about it.
That is true.
There's people that fall for Craigslist ads that are clearly scams.
Right.
But because they're not, as you like to say, privy to scams, they're sending the money through Cash App.
Right.
So we all possess a level of vulnerability to something. If you're a mechanic, it'll be really hard for somebody to sell you a bad car. If you're not as experienced to recognize those warning signs. And I don't think anybody that was involved with Natureboy was aware of such manipulation tactics.
Right. And him moving them away from everything that they know, that was a part of it.
Of course.
Like you said, isolation.
Exactly. You don't know what it does to your mind to be in Mexico, in Panama, in Nicaragua, and everybody around you looks nothing like you. They don't speak your language. They don't understand what you're saying. Naturally, you're going to cling to the people around you that are more familiar, which makes you more prone to follow their behaviors and their belief systems as a means of survival, because we tend to act like those around us in certain situations. I know that you don't fall for every form of peer pressure, but there is a concept called group.
I don't want to get off a subject, but how is the weather and what state are you guys living in? I'm obviously in a New England state, as we all know, and it is pouring down raining like buckets. Okay. And this is like the second time today that it just came down like crazy. I literally looked over out the window. I could hear it before it even. I looked out the window and it's coming down hard.
Groupthink, where if you're around people for a certain amount of time, naturally you will start to think and do as they think and as they do.
Right. Yeah, it's something else. Just watching them over the years, that isolation was big. And like you said, the commonality was some of them were under 25.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think. when you was 16, every 20-year-old girl you seen looked like a grown
Wow,
woman
Steve.
Right.
that had herself together.
Yep.
Until you start getting to that age, you realize, oh, to a 16-year-old girl, every 25-year-old guy looks like he's this amazing man that knows something. But it's only relative. You find out when you turn 25 that dudes that act like what the dudes that you used to like when you were 16, you would never look their way now that you're on their quote unquote level. So to these young girls coming in, Nature Boy probably looked like something.
Right. Yep. He knew exactly what he was doing. But now he's in a position where he has no control. How do you think what do you think he's feeling now? Because he don't have any control. Like today, things were pushed back again. So he has no control over that.
Well, I told you, I don't like to do the competing thing, the who's more man than the other man. I'm a gangster, I'm tough. I feel like all of that is fake. I feel like people who have to blow themselves up are only revealing how small they feel to themselves.
I agree.
What I will say is that when you were outside of the jail, you were gonna run the jail. All of the real Negroes are in jail.
Right.
You're the alpha no matter where you go. When the police showed up, there's a video of your eyes wider than a field goal.
Yep.
You're talking about being in protective custody. Why would somebody who's an OG, triple OG gangster need protective custody?
That is true. He was exposed at that point.
I don't understand. If you're a gangster,
If you're a gangster, but he's not.
No, it doesn't.
He put himself in protective custody. He even said, I put myself in PC.
I think that Nature Boy speaks for his own self.
Yeah, for a canteen.
People don't pay attention to what you say. They pay attention to what you do.
Genty said it's pouring.
And when you was outside in your
where
comfort zone, in
New
Puerto
Jersey.
Rico, in Mexico, when the only opposition you had was people on the phone, you was the toughest, most unafraid person on the planet. Lock me up. Tell the white man.
Exactly.
To hang me.
Yeah, exactly.
You was saying this. Now that you're in the
remember he was saying white lives matter. He was playing
that same
really playing reverse psychology on people's minds. Really
it
trying
is
to
no longer present.
Make
so
people
I'm trying
mad.
to understand, how can somebody who said basically I'm not afraid of the system now, while in the system, demand some type of compassion and empathy? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. It never will. Not even to him. He faked it until we made it.
Yeah, it was the lights are on him and he got exposed.
Yeah.
Definitely did. So you okay, what were you saying?
No, the only thing I was gonna say, I was gonna say that to the right people, he never fooled anybody. The right people knew he was a fraud from the beginning. Because there's certain things you just don't do, and there's certain things you just don't have to say if you are that. You never heard Kobe Bryant say I'm the best basketball player in the world. He never had to. Never heard Kobe Bryant saying those things because it spoke for itself.
Right.
So I personally feel like anybody who has to reiterate, not just once or twice, but for years, the same statements and the same claims about who they are only revealing how insecure and how much they don't believe in what they say. If you are what you are, you spend more time being that rather than trying to convince other people
Exactly. I
or
agree
get
with
them
that.
to recognize what you are.
I agree with that.
Bill
Right.
Gates doesn't have to say he's rich.
Right.
You
Right. That's
understand
true.
what I'm saying?
You just know it.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't even have to use symbols of wealth. He doesn't have. You never seen Bill Gates in a Rolls Royce or wearing a chain or anything like that. Because
Right.
when you are what you are, you spend more time being it rather than trying to convince people that you are it.
Yep. That is true. You say you've been studying this case. Like, what do you think the outcome will be? You think this will be it? Like, it
Well,
doesn't look good as far as a jury.
well, my thing is, no matter how much research I do, I try to keep my perspective in alignment with the real
We ain't gotta worry
information
about
that
that
I
lady
have.
coming here
Mhm.
today.
And like YouTube is a very opinionated platform.
Right.
And it should be. First Amendment, freedom of speech. People need to speak. People need to voice their opinion. It makes people, it makes people, I feel like it makes people whole to be able to express themselves. From
And
what I've
so, since
seen
we said it
thus
a
far,
long time ago, nature was a big pink. Remember? Oh,
today, where we
a
stand,
big
the only
punk.
thing
Remember,
I
I
know
told you
is that
I'm
the
in New
last
Jersey and
document that was
Nature
posted
was
on
in
the
juvenile
ODY, the
detention,
CAD portal,
saying that he had
was
never
that a
been. She
pretrial was
said, yeah,
scheduled
he
for
couldn't
today.
have,
I don't
because he
know
would
if
know
it
the
was
laws,
canceled.
Genty.
I don't know if it was rescheduled. I don't know what happened with that.
It's a continuance.
Okay, so it means that it'll happen another day.
Right.
On that same document, it said that if this case is not disposed during this pretrial hearing,
Lying, he was in
to be
prison.
prepared
Lying, he
for
was in a
trial
blood.
on July
Lying this,
14th
lying that.
or July 24th. I did further research and it said that any case that is not heard on the week of July 14th will automatically be rolled over to the week of July 24th. Now, from what
Aaron Dixon is
I've gotten
in the
directly
bushes
from
making
DeKalb
sure
County,
he
this
follows behind
case
what's going
could
on.
be resolved by August the 1st. And how I feel like it's going to.
I would like for everyone that's in here, people in the bushes, to please support the channel. Make sure you leave a like or a dislike on this video. It does not cost you anything to like or dislike this video. It just doesn't make no sense how you people come in here, you look at the content, whether it's the bushes or wherever, and don't hit a like. The like, I don't get paid off of. Trust me. If I did, I would be broke, busted, and disgusted.
Go. If he goes to trial, I personally don't think any unbiased, competent citizen is going to consider this person innocent with the amount of content that they have created themselves.
Right.
It's not as if the information is largely coming from some third party. Now, there are statements and there are witnesses, but there is videos of the defendant making statements that would lead.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, something else that I wanted to say, because I would comment this here or there, and I don't know if you saw it. Also, y'all, share the video to yourself, even if it means like clicking share and sending it in an email to yourself. That helps a lot too.
Thank you so much. Right. That you can support the channel, and that's free to do it. It's free. Thank you for giving them that suggestion. Thank you so much, Steven.
No problem.
Okay.
An unbiased, competent citizen to believe that, oh yeah, this is a person who definitely could have done these things.
Yeah.
And people have to understand, the prosecution doesn't have to prove beyond all doubt.
Right.
Reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt.
There will, in every case you have, there will be a possible doubt that the person didn't do it because you wasn't there and you didn't see it. But reasonably, as a reasonable person, when you hear the things that this person has said, the amount of times they have said it, and the way they have said it, it doesn't allude you to believe that this person was acting. It doesn't allude you to believe that this person was just playing and doing some type of quote unquote spiritual improv. You're going to be like, this Negro is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even the conversations he's had on a recorded jail line. Granted, I would give you a pass if you didn't know you was being recorded. The dang on call every time
it tells you that
says you are being recorded. The things I have personally heard this person say on the phone has led me to believe and reach the conclusion that his neurological connections are not properly structured. There's something wrong with his ability to properly interpret reality.
Right, or follow rules. He thinks he's about him. He tried to make it
about it's a huge gamble taking it to a jury because you don't know how they're going to react to this information. Like you said, they could be like, you know what? It's a high probability, you know what, he's guilty. They could say that. And if they say that, then he's facing, like you said, 25. That's a considerable amount of time.
On
And the
the
judge
low
may
end,
max him
25.
out. Because he's facing 25.
Minimum.
High five.
Minimum.
Yep. Georgia doesn't play.
That's heavy.
Life would be simple if everything stayed the same, right? But let's be honest, it would also be plain
minimum.
Yep. Georgia doesn't play.
And the thing about it is that I
Wrong
think the
state
most
to be acting a
ridiculous
fool
thing
and
about
getting caught up.
The whole case is the amount of effort they're putting to convincing social media, people who will not be at the trial, and people who have no bearing on the outcome of the case. The amount of effort they're putting to convince social media that he's innocent makes me think that something's wrong with these people.
Aaron, you know, it's a possibility. I don't know if you know this, but the Law and Crime Network, they're one of the biggest trial coverage YouTube channels out there. They put in a document to the court because they want cameras in there. They want to be in there. So there's a possibility we may see this trial on YouTube live.
Now, from my understanding, speaking with the lady from the Law and Crime Network directly, unless something has changed, the only reason they're trying to get footage is to have some content for a documentary they plan on doing after the trial is over.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay.
Now that is a possibility. Like I said, that is not stamped certified truth, but my experience with the lady, that's what she told me at the time. That was months ago. It could have changed. But I personally don't think Law and Crime is going to put Natureboy next to Young Thug and Nelly.
Interesting. Yeah,
I
didn't think about it like that. And I didn't know that they was considering a documentary. That makes sense now. They just gathering intel. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we do.
Yeah,
as
they just
content creators.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of these cases, Aaron, where like it's risky.
I hope so too,
for
Steven.
him to take this to trial. It's risky. I mean, he has every right to, but it's a risky situation. Because like I said, he won't get out until he's 60 something. If he's playing, if he blows trial. So he's 40 something now.
Right.
He's looking at 63, 64, he'll be out.
Right. And I don't know. It's
Okay, we're gonna move on to Solar's page. And I want to make something real clear before we start. I don't think I'm gonna actually be on here for 5 hours. Because like I told you before, I have not been too present on YouTube as much as I should be, and you get penalized, which is okay. I'll work my butt off for a month and views will pick up. Also it's the holidays, so it's to be respected. But even if it was a holidays, the audience would be bigger. However, I am very appreciative of the people that did join me today on the 4th of July. But I just want, and I hope that Solar is listening to this in the bushes, because he has a facade about me that I don't like him, because I tell the truth. I talk like I'm a human being and a mother first and foremost with a child, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm tell you what you need to hear. And I talk only on opinion, allegate my own, not allegations. Allegedly is all I can say when I'm not sure of something or in my opinion. But I'm going to make sure I put Solar's link in the description box at the top of this live stream when I get off, so you guys can go over and subscribe to his channel. I actually might even, while you guys are listening to what he's saying, put it inside of the chat, pin it up at the top, and then, like I said, when I get off, I'll put it up at the top of the description box of this video. But I want you to hear what he said a couple of days ago. You said, is Nature Boy in the same jail? Yeah, I think so. You talking about as Juju? I want you to listen to what he said a couple of days ago. Spiritual introduction. I joined a culture, let's call it, on accident. Truth be exposed. So he did a 35-minute introduction. I guess this is the beginning of his new channel. I think he had the channel look like for 6 years, but he's putting different content on it because his life has changed. He's not in the culture anymore. And I want you to listen to it. This is going to be a commentary live. Credits do go out to Solar, and I will again show you where to find his channel so you can subscribe. Help him get his watch time up if he hasn't already, in his subscriber count up, so that he can get monetized. That's the least thing I can do when I'm using somebody's content. You know what I'm saying? So let's start this.
Of energy is an even better decision to make. Welcome to the new channel. We're going to be using this channel from here moving forward, evolving collectively. And if anybody knows who I am already, then you know what it is that I bring to the table. If you don't know, get ready to find out. This first video that I'm going to introduce myself to you in, is going to be me talking about a brief history of my past, coming from a cult.
What is he bringing to the
and then
table?
I also want to go into talking about occult knowledge and esoteric knowledge and information. We're going to be healing relationships together.
Oh, really?
We're going to be diving deep into our own purpose. We're going to be unraveling secrets of the universe together. We're going to be breaking all kind of generational curses. We're going to learn how to build generational wealth. I promote sovereignty in all dimensions.
Oh God, he gets
so without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and get into this first video.
Nice beat.
They tryna win a race, so I can't compete with you. I'm living my own way, walking lane, speaking true. Tomorrow is today, and you will always be with you. Then fight well done, I say. My love is here to stay. They tryna win a race.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Solar Moray. You on my channel, The Magic News. Welcome. So check this out. On this channel, we're gonna be talking about some key points here. Majority of the time, we're going to be talking about purpose. We're going to be talking about spirituality. And if you don't know about spirituality, I want to be able to offer an introduction into spirituality the right way, the safe way, okay, the unbiased way, the undogmatic way, the non-religious way. Can we get into spirituality? And I'll say this as well, actually, fun fact. I don't care if you come from a specific religion. Why? Because I know that I can teach the same thing
having 2 babies ain't taking
in any religion, because all of these books, spiritual texts, all these ancient civilizations, relics and symbols, and all of these different things, they are all sourced in the same one thing, which is just energy.
I just put his link in the comment section of the video. I will now pin that up at the top of the chat, and I also giving credit to this video that's on his channel that we're going to do live commentary to. I will also put up at the top of the description box of this live stream after the live's over the link as well, if you don't click on it while you're on the chat. And go over and subscribe to his channel. I know you're going to be interested in hearing some of the stuff he's going to say. He flip-flops too. So he can sound spiritual today, and tomorrow he can sound ratchet. So just remember that.
And energy can be gauged by value. Values is not something that we invented. It's something that is relative, and it's something that we can observe, all right, and from a certain perspective. I know this sounds crazy to you, but just understand this. This entire reality, this entire universe operates off of energy. And energy can take the form of anything. And the easiest way to gauge anything is by looking at what makes it up, what it's doing. What frequency is it on? How is it operating? This is how you can tell what kind of energy you got.
Now with the presentation, how he's presenting it, the background, okay, it's hot. The visuals will keep you on the video. He knows how to bring the audience in. He learned that from Natureboy. I gotta give him credit. But I would respect him better if he talked about the struggles, like Aaron Dixon's doing, aka True. The struggling. What did you heal? What did you learn from this? What are you still struggling with? You know, but don't get up here with this like you're trying to make my life or anyone else's life that's listening to this better. When you just left a culture that if the SWAT didn't come and get him, none of y'all would have left. God saved you. You should be honoring whatever God you believe in for saving you from this self-destruction that Natureboy was on, trying to inflict that on you. You are not in no condition this early in the game to be a spiritual speaker, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual leader. And that's okay. You still can get up here, make your bag, but talk about, build your whole bag around your struggles, your life experiences, and not try to be someone trying to change somebody's life. You have to heal from your own wounds, your own struggles, in order to be a mentor to somebody else's, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's what none of them are getting. And it's really sad. It's like, we know they haven't healed. So it's like, it's delusion at its finest, mass delusion at its finest, because he's not the only one up here trying to change or help somebody's life. There's plenty of other people doing the same thing as he's doing, and they just came from a sick man called Natureboy.
All right. I don't care what language it's in. I don't care what form it's in, if it's hand signs, if it's sound waves, if it's light. I don't care what it is.
Feel me, Genty?
All right. Energy in all of these different forms, it's all communication. And it's all the universe communicating with itself. If you can speak energy, all right, you can speak any language that the universe has to offer. You can communicate, all right? You are the source. You don't need a language. It's just a point of reference. So I'm saying this because a lot of us don't really understand who we are and what this is. And then you go and do stuff like what I did. And you get up and go and join a cult, right? Without knowing it. So let's get into it, y'all.
Join the demonic.
My name is Courtney Pete Townsend II. Yes, I'm a junior. And growing up with that name as a male, has definitely been a journey in itself. It's been very fun though, and it's made me very strong. I've had many jobs. I've worked at dispensaries. I've worked at all kind of restaurants. I've worked at bars. I've worked in construction. I've traveled the country and got paid for it. You know, I've done all kind of things on and off paper. A lot of my resume is crazy though. My background isn't really correlating to my work though. My real background connects to everything I did when I didn't have work, which is what? Me making music. I'm an artist, I'm a producer, I'm an engineer. I write and record all my own music. And definitely going into music, you learn a ton of things about energy, frequency, vibration. Okay, you learn a lot about energy, frequency, and vibration when you're making music and playing with music. Okay, so this is definitely a science channel. This is a spirituality channel, and this is a psychology channel. I'm going to be opening this up by talking about my life and talking about what I went through. And it's not just about me. Hey, get to know me, get to know 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. It's not that, you know, that's great. But what this really is showing you the journey and the path of someone who was completely derailed from their purpose and how to find it.
I hope honestly that he sticks and doesn't derail now and talks about the self-destruction he did being in this culture and how it's bettering him. And I hope he's honest and upfront that all he can do is let you listen to what he's been through. You can relate through, even if it ain't the same struggles, you can relate through that he's been through something in his life and that you're not the only one that has issues in life. But, you know, the sun will come out again. I hope that he stays on topic on that level. But as father's trying to mentor someone, I don't think that he's ready for that. Now, if he stays on topic, talking about his life growing up, why he ended up in this culture and allowed this man to do, Natureboy do what they did to him, it'll be well respected. I can't say enough just how his setup is. It's beautiful. He definitely should be doing something in production. I mean, the background is enough to keep you on the video, even if what he's saying is maybe a bunch of jibber jabber. The whole setup is beautiful. He's got that down. But the conversation and what you're trying to do, be a spiritual leader, you're not ready for that yet. Just talk about what you went through and how you can say we can do this together, heal together, we can cry together. But you're not ready to be no spiritual leader. So I hope he's not getting up here, you know, selling people false promises, because, you know, that to me is messed up if that's what he's trying to do. So, you know, and it is what it is. So let me get back on here because I don't know what I just did. But let me get back. What did I just do? Oh, here it is. Here it is. But yeah, I just hope that he gets it eventually.
And I want to let you guys know pretty much what I went through and what I learned. So without further ado, I want y'all to know that I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I ended up exploring all other kinds of religions. And I just always had this one question, which is like, okay, if we're all humans and there's all these different religions based off of these spiritual texts and backgrounds and histories and cultures, why don't we have this giant convention as humans? And this is me as a little kid thinking this.
Please make sure to hit the like button. Can we please get the likes up? You go to other channel holders' pages where you're scared to even get in their chat and talk because you might get attacked by the channel holder and their minions. They're like a culture, let's call it. And they might dox you or something if you say the wrong thing. Or if they think you came into the chat and you may not have left a like, they could just guess that you came into their live chat and they'll just pick at you and say you didn't leave a like and have everybody attack you. All I ask for you to do is hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Humans have this giant convention where we come together, bring all of our books, all of our teachings, and we figure out what's true and what's not true. I didn't know that that's not what religion's about. Religion is about politics. It's about control. It's about creating a way of life and a culture and a society.
Yeah, right.
It has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality has to do with life.
Yes,
all of life, spirituality has to do with. It's everywhere, all the time. What can you see it is the question. Can you read the code in the moment? Are you tapped into the energy in the moment to really get the message the universe is trying to communicate to you? That's the big thing. But religion is almost like a government. It's really just structures and rules. And I just never understood that as a child because I thought it was about the truth. I thought people were good people. I thought we were here to evolve and to do better and to help each other and love each other. This is how I was raised. This is all I knew. This is all I thought. When I was able to be on my own, I'm asking people in the church about this stuff. You're the devil. You're a demon. Yeah.
Okay, don't be dramatic now, Sassy.
Ye of little faith. I just want to know what electricity is. How does electricity work? That's the devil's work. Meanwhile, everything's turned on and people on their phones. And I'm like, all right. So anyway, religion didn't make sense. Family was always separated. I never really had family. I had my sister, I had my mother, I had my cousins, but it was always a reach to ever. It was always a reach.
One thing he could change is the volume of the music in the background. The volume is a whole vibe, right along with the background. I love the background. I love the way he has it set up, either the lighting and the dragon in the background, all of it. But he needs to turn down the sound of the music. It's a vibe with the video, but it's just too loud. The volume's too loud. You can still have that background music, but Solar, turn it down some.
Reach to ever go and be around them. You know what I mean? So the next thing I want to talk about, so we can just stay on point, right, is why did I join the cult? I joined the cult because
you were lost.
I was deep into occult knowledge.
No, you were lost.
Deep into spirituality for many years. And melanin, quantum physics, all the sciences, electromagnetism, Nikola Tesla, all these different things. I was really, really into them. The pyramids, what are the pyramids? How do they work? How does this work? All these hieroglyphs and symbols, what are they? I figured all this stuff out very young, from 2012 moving forward. And I just continue to always just be really deep. And I was always a weird one amongst my friends because I choose to be deep. Okay? And I looked at them. When I seen him online, when I seen this cult leader online, right? It's not that in the video, what he was talking about was stuff that I like to talk about. And I'm like, yo, that's great. We can relate. We can connect. But what was different
that's what I'm getting from this
was
video.
This guy was shirtless in the jungle, yelling and screaming the knowledge at the top of his lungs. Even though nobody could hear him,
but
he was on the phone. And I didn't see many people on the phone doing this at all. So I'm like, this is another way to live. I don't have to know I'm in a matrix, know I'm in a messed up system that's built against me, and just be in it and know it and have to work in it. I was depressed, deep into depression after all the jobs, all the money, all the bills, all the sickness in my family, all the diseases here and there, the crime, getting shot at, always getting shot. Like, come on, Oceanside, California. It was where I was at before I left in the first times. So I didn't know that I could go and live a life connected to nature rather than connected to a matrix system. Okay, and that right there was a big thing for me. When I first did the research on the cost of living in other countries, my mind was blown. I'm like, no one's talking about this. Nobody told me it was cheaper to live in these places. Nobody told me that all the food is better there. All the weather is better there. Everything is better there. It's safer than America, that's for sure. So I'm like figuring these things out. I'm like, what am I doing? My whole life has been a lie. I see this group of
I feel like he's deflecting. I'm sorry. you were at that age where you made the decision to go over to that culture. You could have looked up this information online. Is readily available for anyone of all ages. That's why YouTube is so strict with their policies, especially protecting kids' rights, because kids even get to information they ain't got no business tapping into. So let's not like downplay it. You know exactly what you were getting yourself into. I really feel like a lot of these people went over there because they did not want to deal with reality, with their life issues that they had going on. They wanted someone to take the wheel, and they felt like if I had to be a servant and do X, Y, and Z, there's many of us to cater to one man, but I can live in a tropical island and not have to work and be a productive citizen in society. That's what I'm gonna do. And I really think that that is what Solar, and not only Solar, all of those members went over there to do. Be lazy and use the excuse that they were over for a spiritual journey, because I have not even one time seen these people even live off the land. They attempted to cultivate the land, but we never saw them the whole time on the mission. Even when it wasn't called carbonation and when it was melanation, I did not ever see these people living off the land. Now, maybe picking mangoes off of trees and coconuts, they were already there. They did not harvest those fruits and vegetables that they were eating. So, you know, to me, the deflecting is not going to work with me, but I'm all for it. If Sassy Solar wants to get up here and deflect on his channel with this new content, we're gonna do commentary to it. And I just hope that he doesn't get upset and take it personal. But you're either gonna get up here and do like Dixon did, aka True, and Sheba did, aka Kendra, her real government name, did, or don't be up here at all. Because no one's a fool. We already fell for the banana in the tailpipe. We already know you've been around the barbershop, you got a haircut, you're brainwashed, and you're sounding like Nature Boy. And we know Nature Boy is the biggest narcissist. Just keep it real. You'll get more honey with bees than you would with vinegar. If you keep it real with people, even if it's not what everyone wants to hear, the mass majority, people still have to respect you at the end of the day for telling the truth, even if the truth hurts. Now let me get back to here because I just went on a
people
rant.
up there. I'm like, I never had brothers, I never had sisters. They all are like angels. These are all
What are you
people
looking at?
who know the things that I know, but they're all living over there in a beautiful life. And maybe just by living a different life, that could be a big enough statement to the world to change the world, right? This is what I thought anyway. And so moving forward, I ended up being extreme, wanting to burn my birth certificate, social security card, giving my
very
IDs, all that
extreme.
stuff. And I pretty much let everything go. I gave everything away, and I ended up living in a nature reserve
And gave
in
it
San
to
Diego
Nature Boy.
until me and a couple of friends ended up just driving through the border, going to Mexico, just living and just like driving and going, not knowing what to do. We eventually got in touch with the cult, and the leader ended up asking us, pretty much telling us to come. And so, without going into the details, right, I ended up going there.
As long as you had some type of money.
And so my perspective is I'm going to join God's army. I'm going to join the most elite of elite people there are. What makes them elite? They know how this universe works. They know what this reality is. These people are young and they're living in the truth early.
So when did he find out he wasn't elite?
Come to find out, everybody is troubled.
This time.
Everybody is working on something. Not everybody even knows the knowledge. People are there as students, not masters. I'm thinking I'm going to join a group of masters. I joined a group of students. And I remember one of the first things I did when I got there, I was like, they were having a meeting. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? You can't think now all of a sudden? Like, what's up with y'all? What's up? Yo, all you guys are giving bad advice. I'm like, dude, what is this? The cult leader said, Solar, nobody knows you yet. You're right. You're absolutely correct. But nobody knows you yet. Nobody respects you yet. Let me handle this. And so I was like, all right.
Making himself look good,
whatever, true enough. I just got here. True enough, whatever. But I never lost the nobody knows you yet. You're right. You're absolutely correct. But nobody knows you yet. Nobody respects you yet. Let me handle this. And so I was like, all right, whatever. True enough. I just got here. True enough, whatever. But I never lost that feeling of thinking that I was amongst the best and finding out that everybody here is like tadpoles. Spiritually.
Oh, so you were doing so much better than everybody else.
I'm coming from a high level of intelligence and knowledge. I'm not coming from necessarily not like trying to be a student, trying to learn this stuff. I can't wait to teach it. I can't talk to anybody because nobody cares enough. So anyway, find this group. I want to join. I go there. I think I'm going to change the world by living a life
and Natureboy
that is more in alignment with what I know, rather than in the matrix, which I know is wrong in a number of ways. What ended up happening after I was disillusioned was I started to realize that there was a lot of physical abuse.
You've been to it.
At first, you only noticed it between the cult leader and his wife. And then it started to become any woman that ended up being with this guy. And then it started to becoming the men being very verbally abusive.
So he's confirming, because we always, that's one thing he's telling you about. We always, we know now, since everything's came out with the courts and, victims and witnesses, everything's coming out. Even when Shaka got on to Real Life Productions, he had this interview and he was like the most transparent and realest one up there. And he even said, like, it's just insane what Natureboy was doing to all of them. They were all toxic because of the physical and mental, abuse, DV, whatever you want to call it. And it started to be very known to me, or I started to get awareness that they all was catching a bad one. We just only knew of the women that were catching it. But then we started seeing towards the end, look at what he did to Lawyer when he pimp smacked him, that he was doing this to the men too. And that's why they were all scared of him, because I couldn't understand why were they scared of him if he was only doing it to the women. They were scared because they were afraid that what they saw the women having to go through, they were afraid it was going to happen to them. It says, is he saying he still joined knowing they were giving false information? Right, exactly. And it was nothing spiritual about these people at all. So I don't know why he's trying to ride on that.
And this was not how it was from the beginning. The guy was serious, but it wasn't, like, in my opinion, toxic. So I was able to go years and years and years until we finally peeped all of the small twists and turns and the corruption that was popping up. Long story short, right?
Ain't no truth
this
to it.
Person started to corrupt the knowledge that we really all need to heal our generational curses, and using them to have us serve him. And it started to siphon everybody here, all their energy is being siphoned every single day. All the attention and all of our work, everything is going towards building this person. And you could think in a business level, it makes sense for everyone to invest in one thing. But when the business is purpose, when the business is spirituality, you don't have time to invest in anybody else. You don't have time to focus.
Well, when did you figure this
on
out?
Other people's journeys and well-being. We are 20 years old, 19 years old, 22, 23. Abandoning all of our dreams and our purpose and goals and aspirations with the promise that this guy is going to make sure that we are our higher selves. We tap into our higher self spiritually. So I don't care about college. I don't care about a job. I don't care about money. I don't care about my Babylon family, my old family, right? The family I was born into. I don't care about my lineage. I don't care about none of those things because I get to go and spiritually ascend. What a promise. That's not what happened.
I don't buy what he's saying at all because he's a very smart dude. He just was a lazy human being. It had nothing to do with him being smart. He was book smart. He just wasn't street smart. But he still was smart enough to know at the beginning, even before Natureboy got to the point that he got to where he's now in jail for about 1 year and 3 months now, because the SWAT came in and said, we've seen enough. This is enough evidence to build a case around him and take him in. He still was doing strange and deranged, not so spiritual things back then. And Solar still stayed. And Solar also stayed seeing what he was doing to those women. So I don't buy anything that Solar is selling at all. And if you listen to him, if you're a real person and you gravitate to realness, you can tell the fake from the real. You can tell he's deflecting. It's like he's up here trying to clear his name so that you can, loosen the reins on him so that when he further gets onto social media, onto his YouTube channel, you'll open up to him like you did Velvet. And time after time after time, you gave this girl chances. And time after time, she then took donations or artwork she was doing and ran off back to Natureboy. Or would do something she said she wasn't going to do. We would find out about it, and she would cuss them same supporters out that give her money to maybe take care of a electricity bill or her rent or to put food in her house. So you got to understand, these people been hanging around that barbershop too long. They've gotten a haircut. They are brainwashed. Natureboy has brainwashed them. He has washed their brains. They are proteges of Natureboy. This is why I don't think it's healthy for him to this soon be getting up here thinking that he's a spiritual or motivational speaker and is helping someone change their life through his experiences, life experiences.
Everybody ended up being disrespected heavily. And everybody has talents and gifts. Music videos, recording. I make music. I produce, engineer, record the music, right? These guys are organized. If I organized everything, handled all the money, I got into real estate. I was able to get crazy properties for the group, for very low prices. I was able to get like 20 plus people through all these different borders, going through all these different countries, getting all these different cars, solar batteries, tents, and all these different things that I was doing and putting all of my energy into every single day. And all of it was outside of my purpose. And let's pause real quick for a brief spiritual lesson. Okay, a brief spiritual lesson quickly on purpose. All right, think of your purpose as the bullseye of your life. This is the target zone. This is the highest version of me. This is my highest self. This is the best version of me, the highest vibrational version of me, the best possible version of me possible relative to me.
So we're going to follow, I promise we will follow him closely to see where he's getting at, where he's going with this whole YouTube channel. It was supposed to be Love Wins All, and that has now been changed to something else. But we're going to follow him closely because he just reminds me of I call him Baby Solar. He reminds me of a baby Natureboy. And that's why when people say, well, why don't you let the video play? Play for what? It sounds like an ex-carbonation member, or even if it's a carbonation member that's still in carbonation, that is saying, womp, 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 womp. We've heard it all before. Where do you think he gets these awesome setups at? The sound, that's a whole vibe. and how he's trying to still talk like Natureboy did. We were convinced for a hot little second, but when you're still trying to keep the memory of Natureboy going because of how you're behaving in the present time, and this man's in jail, that's a whole problem with me. I am going to put again in the description box, at the top of the description box, his YouTube channel. A lot of you were probably already subscribed to his channel because I think he turned the Love Wins All, or whatever the name of that channel was, with him and the 𝗘𝗫. I think that channel is now changed to the new channel, because I was subscribed to the channel when I went over. When I clicked on the link on the bio on his IG, I was already subscribed to the channel. So I think that that's where he had the videos that he had an interior in him. What I found real disturbing is you see one video from 2 months ago of Velvet eating at the table. But I don't maybe I looked over it quickly. My fault if I did. But I don't see any videos of when he first left Natureboy, when Natureboy got locked up, when the SWAT came to get him, and they did a channel together. And where's those videos at? You take down the Love Wins All videos with the 𝗘𝗫, but you keep up the video with the baby Natureboy, aka Velvet. So to me, I'm not convinced that Solar wants to change. Time can only tell. Maybe he will evolve this time, and his content will start sounding like he's healing more than he's trying to explain or deflect. We'll see. But I'm gonna get off here for now. I was supposed to. It says, what is it? Is he saying he's? Oh, I already read that. You feel me, Jen? I was gonna stay on here for 5 hours, but Hunty, we'll try this another time, and maybe I won't call it a 5-hour marathon because I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on here. But I stayed on here for 2 hours. It's 4th of July. People are, doing their thing. But I know, it's gonna take me some time to get you guys to get your notification. If you could put a Y in the chat if you got your notification for this live, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure you leave a like on the video on your way out when I leave. But it's gonna take me some time, consistently a couple of weeks, about 2 good weeks, 14 days out of this month for me to see my views pick up and me not be shadow banned. You get shadow banned on any platform that you're not consistent on, not just YouTube. That's just the name of the game. When even if you went on a 2-week vacation, you penalize yourself. So it was a great pleasure for the people that did stay with me for this marathon. I respect you because you could have been anywhere else, but you were here with me. I want y'all to have a safe 4th of July and a safe rest of the year. I love y'all and stay blessed. I'm out. Mwah.